Hi, it's Pete Cohen here. Welcome to the podcast. Today's podcast is about you becoming a compassionate warrior. That's right, you becoming a compassionate warrior. But before we get stuck into the show, let me tell you that today's podcast is brought to you by my free Willpower ebook. Willpower is something I believe everyone in the world needs to know about. And if I was in charge of the whole education system around the world, I'd make number one subject on the curriculum willpower. Willpower is your ability to get yourself to do the things that you need to do, even when you don't feel like it. And we now know that IQ, it's not that it's outdated, but we don't really need to be that intelligent. What we need is get ourselves to consistently make decisions that move us in the direction that we want to go. And so we don't always become a victim to our worries, our fears, our doubts, and our temptation. So head over to mi365.me/willpower. Willpowers with an S at the end, -2. That's mi365.me/willpowers with a -2. So there you go. Let me just put that down and let's get on with the show. So today's show is all about you becoming a compassionate warrior. I really believe that you and me, we all need to be warriors in this life. Why? Well, it's pretty challenging out there. Life is, well, you fill in the gaps. Life is, you might say wonderful. You might say hard. You might say amazing. Life is what you make it. And our goal is to inspire people just like you, or not people just like you. It's to inspire you. You see, when you're inspired, it's because you're breathing life into something. And it's the gift, right? The gift that you've been given. And I think most of us don't really appreciate the gifts. Now, podcast will be going out at the end of the year, 2017. It's been an incredible year. We are way into, I think, the 120 episodes of the Mi365 podcasts. And thank you so much for all of you that have listened. I mean, my goal right here is to give you this. It's like I'm giving you a gift. But the thing is, these days, when we give gifts to people, especially at Christmas, they get so many and they don't often really appreciate what it is that they have. And I'd like you just to take a few moments to really think about what's a great gift that you can give yourself, or as a warrior, what is it that you're really needing to go on a mission to do? The biggest battles that we seem to face in life is the sleeping giants that are inside us, the choice that we often make to go into what Eckhart Tolle talks about in The Power of Now is our pain body. Now, I don't necessarily mean physical pain, even though experiencing the pain in our body of fear, worry, doubt, depression, dissatisfaction, that's pain in our body. And often we waken that up. And it can definitely cause physical pain. It can cause tension in the body. But why do we have the habit of doing that? Is it the fact that we have a set point? In fact, many people believe that there is a set point of happiness, and 40% of that is within our DNA, and 10% of that is in our conditioning, and 50% is within our control, that we can control how we think and feel. But we have a tendency to go back to what it is that we know. And many of you have heard me say this before: if we always do what we've always done, then we'll always get what we've always got. Your challenge of becoming a warrior, or my challenge that I'm giving you, and I'd love you to really think about this and take it on board. What would your life be like if you had less worry, fears, and I've written some of this stuff down, less drama, less depression, less rage, less anger, less somber mood, less impatience, less holding grudges? I was reading the other day that the Dalai Lama used to love trying to catch mice and put cheese out and try and catch them, not to kill them, but just to see if he could catch them. He never could. He never caught one of them. And he thought, wow, those mice are pretty smart, because they would rather live didn't catch the cheese. When I read this, I thought, wow, that's a little bit like us, but we're often not that clever. Maybe sometimes mice are actually cleverer than us because they'll move away from that. What we fail to do, I believe, is to realize that the cheese is the drama, the depression, the rage, the anger, the somber mood, the impatience, the sadness, the loneliness, that to recognize that if we go and eat that, we feed on it, we manifest it. It's like pouring concrete in a garden. So I want to ask you the question, what is it that you want to cultivate as a warrior, as a compassionate warrior? What is it that you want to cultivate? Well, I believe some of the main virtues is loving kindness, to be joyful, to be happy, to be tranquil in times of challenge. Isn't that the greatest thing that we could, any of us, do? How many of you like that idea of becoming a warrior of these things that you want to manifest in the world? Now, the challenge is another challenge. This is a life's work. This isn't something that you do just once or twice. This is something that we have to be totally 100% dedicated to. So what we need to do, I believe, is sometimes look at what brings these things to the surface. I remember Jack and the Beanstalk, that whole story of Jack going up the beanstalk, and there's the giant, and he sees the golden eggs, I think. But basically, he wakes up the giant. We have to take responsibility of what are we waking up inside ourselves. And if you feel that you're waking up that kind of pain body, that challenge that is inside you, it's like, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do? Hey, what are you going to do? Hey, what are you going to do about it? What do you got to do, huh? To take responsibility. And most of us, we live in this world of the kind of, it's not my fault. In fact, one of the biggest challenges which many people have, by the way, have you noticed the amount of times I've said challenge? Maybe we should re-listen to this podcast. And he said that so many times because it is a challenge. It's the warrior's challenge to live the life that you want. And it happens by design. It doesn't happen by chance, of taking the responsibility that you have to recognize that you've got paths that you can go down. Do you want to go down the path of blame, worry, grudges? And this is the thing, many of us hold grudges. And I was reading something the other day about grudges being like taking rat poisoning and expecting the rat to die. And I thought, whoa, that's really powerful. And what I'm asking all of us to do is to wake up, really wake up, and decide, I am a compassionate warrior. Come on, say it with me. I am a compassionate warrior. Say it with me. Come on. I am a compassionate warrior. To recognize that I'm going into battle every time I let these emotions come up inside me and often take over. So how do you stop that? Well, sometimes we need to recognize what is it that allows that to come about. And sometimes and as we know, that the main tool of becoming the person that you want to be is not really a tool, it's just becoming aware. As you become aware of what are the triggers that often make you go down that road, which is like pouring concrete on a garden, nothing grows. There are often triggers, and you need to see that maybe it's excessively watching television for too long, or gossiping with other people, or just not moving your body, that often leads you down a road where things start to rise up inside you. So as a compassionate warrior, write down, what is it that you want to cultivate? What is it that you want to bring into this world? I want to bring more loving kindness into this world. I want to bring more inspiration into this world. And I'm so committed to that when I realize that I'm going down a road that I don't want to go down, I've got to bring myself up. I've got to bring myself out of that really, really quickly. Otherwise, I become a victim of it. How do you do that? Well, often something that's not habitual, as you start to take your mind somewhere else, and the mind goes, well, why are we going over here? We normally go down here. And this is an epiphany for often many people. The reason we go down the path. We go down the path of least resistance, even though we might not feeling depression. We might not feel like worry or doubt or stress. It's just familiar to us. And that's why with the 50% maybe that it is within our control, we have to take full responsibility. Just look outside the world today, when you go out today, and just look around you and be curious as to how many people do you think are living in a world where they're blaming others. They're not taking responsibility. They think everything is outside of their control. They think they are their fears, their worries, their doubts, their somber mood, their impatience. That is something that we have practiced doing. And I'm going to continue to show up for you wherever you are around the world and be a constant source of inspiration. And I know that you have it within you too. I believe in you. Wherever you are in the world, I believe in human beings. I've seen what people are capable of, and I know what you're capable of. And if you took a moment and thought, what actually am I capable of? Well, what have you achieved? What have you already done in your life? But let me ask you this. What are you going to do? In fact, someone asked me the other day about the stuff that I've done, and I kind of bored myself talking about the stuff that I've done. And I said, listen, what I've done is really not that interesting. It's more about what I'm going to do. That's much more interesting to me, and that's my challenge to you, to become a compassionate warrior. So, in summary, take some time to realize, what is it that you wake up inside yourself? What is it, the pain that is inside you? Is it the depression, the somber mood, the impatience, the worry, the doubt that is there? That's there within all of us. It's part of being the human condition. Do you want to become a compassionate warrior where you dedicate your life's work to recognize when you're just starting to go down that road, to bring yourself out and say, no, I'm not doing that. I'm going to rise up and use the inspiration that is in me to move myself in a different direction. I'm going to cultivate. And write this down. What is it that you want to cultivate? What is it that you want to grow? Look, a farmer doesn't just grow something once and then it's done. It's continuous work. Often a warrior has to go into battle over and over and over again. And we are in a battle with ourselves. How do you find peace in yourself? Decide to become a compassionate warrior and decide what is acceptable and what is not acceptable. So I really hope you've enjoyed the podcast, and we would really appreciate if you enjoyed this, leave a comment and share it. This is information that we want to get out to the whole world. And we know that someone will listen to this, guaranteed, because you suggested it or you made a comment and they listened to it and it changed their life. The world changes when our perspective changes. And that's why I'm here, to help you look at things differently, to give you some tools, to give you some strategies and applications for you to go out there and rock the world as you are a compassionate warrior. Say it with me. I am a compassionate warrior. Write it down and decide. Make that decision today. The word decision is to cut off from all other choices. This is something you've got to work at. You'll get better and better and better and better at it. So thank you very much. And remember, today's podcast is brought to you by my free willpower ebook. Head over to mi365.me/willpowers-2. That's mi365.me/willpowers with a hyphen and the number 2, and get your hand on my free ebook. Thank you for watching. If you listen to this just before Christmas, have a great Christmas. Ho, 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 ho. And give yourself that gift of becoming a compassionate warrior. Take care, lots of love, and we'll see you soon.